Pardon me. So we're going to talk about this. In my last lecture, in my last live, I called some people Masons, or what I called them was CMB Moors. That's the phrase that I used, right? CMB Moors. When I make such a reference to CMB Moors, they may not actually just be CMB Moors, but what they all are professing is Masonry and Shrinerdom. This is what they're professing. Okay? Now, Masons are made. Someone else has to rise you up. You cannot be one of us. You can't be born into it. You must be sworn into it. The Muslims are born in it. Okay? The Muslims, the true Muslims, because the Shriners imitate Muslims, they imitate, but they do not believe in Islam, even though they use it. So the Shriners and the Muslims are not the same pedigree. Okay? Anyone can be a Mason if a Mason brings you in. So you're not born a Mason. The Masons teach you that they are going to basically turn you into a man. They're going to make you, someone else is going to make you a better man. Without the authority of another, you will not raise up and be upright. Okay? A Muslim, on the other hand, is born into the shrine. They're born into it. It belongs. The Muslim, you cannot make me Muslim. Only I. Only God. Not man. Not man, but only God can make me Muslim. The Muslim that I'm speaking of is the Moorish American Fraternal Order. Or would you say fraternity? The Moorish American Fraternity, or fraternal order, or national organization, means the same thing, right? States that all of their adherents are already Muslim. You have to pay to be a Mason, and you have to keep paying to be a Shriner, right? Meaning that membership is not free. According to the Moorish American Fraternity, membership is free. And what you are paying towards or contributing towards, right, is the upkeep of your organization. Anyone can be a Mason. Anyone can be made into a Mason. But you have to be this. This must be your nature. Okay? What does Muslim mean? Muslim means righteous one. One who submits their claim and relinquishes their lower self to that of the higher self. This is the Muslim is the grand architect's temple. This is the temple, and the grand architect is seated at the throne. Here's the throne, to be honest with you. Okay. Anywho, there are Moorish Americans, there are Moorish Americans as well as those who profess to be American Moors, as if there's a difference, who follow Masonry and Shrinerdom. If they follow Masonry and Shrinerdom, they're not following the Muslim fraternity. Okay? Now, who can be a Mason? Negroes can be Masons, all right? Press Hall. Okay? Negroes can be Masons, though I don't know of such a thing. And if something that really doesn't exist can be something such as a Mason, then Masonry really doesn't exist. Yes, Charlie became a Mason. He learned the ways. He got into Shrinerdom. His teacher, one of his teachers, the high priest of Egypt, was Abdul Hamid Suleiman, who actually established the old Canaanite temple in Newark, New Jersey. So Jurali went from Freemasonry to Shrinerdom. And then he took that Freemasonry, that Shrinerdom. He was also delving in Rosicrucianism and Buddhism, right? All of these orders, if you will. But once he realized the core principle that is evident in them all, he did away with all of the dividing factors. And he gave us the national order in its purest form, open to everybody. See, according to the Muslims, everyone is born Muslim. Everyone. But according to the Masons, you can't be born a Mason. Okay? The Muslim means creditor. In commerce, it's creditor. This is what the Muslim means. Muslim means the secured person. Okay? Or the trustee. All right, so Negroes can be Negroes can be Masons. Native Americans can be Masons? No, what do you mean? Native Americans can't be Masons. You're just talking out the side of your neck. Really? Really? So American Indians can be Masons, right? And who are their handlers? Who are their handlers? European Freemasons, these are their handlers. You see, the Prince Hall Masons and the the American Indian Masons, right? They were given permission. They extend from, okay? Now, the Masons and even the Shriners who imitate the Muslims, they deal with Christendom. They deal with being born in sin, being born in debt, not being really free. You are free, you are enslaved until you come to us and we raise you up. That's this over here. That's not this here. So Drew Ali got all of this information. So he swore the oath of secrecy. So why do you think they tried to hunt him down? Because he gave it up. You see, Drew Ali was running around here learning all of the mystic sciences. All of them. Every last one of them. Drew Ali was in a circus. Did you know that the carnival, is a form of a fraternal order? Did you know that? It's not just a whole bunch of people in a circus dilly-dallying. No, they really have order. So Drew Ali learned all of these things. All right? And what Drew Ali noticed is that with these upper portions, they were divided. They divided humanity, right? Because you have the Negroes, the Native Americans, and the Europeans, etc. It's divided. If you understand Islamic order, there is no division in the fraternal order based on your skin tone, based on your nation of origin, because as a Muslim, all other Muslims are inherently your brothers or sisters. Do we know this title, brothers and sisters? All of these use them. Brother this, sister that. See, in Islam, we are all brothers and sisters of one Father or of one consciousness. And so the Father, us being the children of the light and the light being the Father, we all share in the trust and the state. We're all heirs. Here, they have to adopt you in. This is adoption. And mind you, it's an amalgamation into the European concept of fraternal order. Okay? A Mason or a Shriner cannot have titles of nobility here in America. Okay? But what they can do, well, let me rephrase that. Because it's not about being European. It's about being a part of these fraternal orders do not have titles of nobility. But you see, in order to be one of these, you first have to be one of these. And then these people here, they pin their tassels down and they mark their fez. These are their practices. Moorish Americans have stripped all of that off. If you know about Shrinerdom, when you see the names on there, these are names of, we'll say, ruling houses, meaning that someone is a servant under them. Okay? We're not born in debt. We're not born under anyone but God. All right? So, particularly the Moorish Muslims have titles of nobility. These are the titles of nobility of the Muslims of Earth, not just America. These are the titles of the Moorish Muslims all over the earth. We have El, which is of Hebraic, uh, uh, Aramaic, Canaanite, Phoenician origin. We have Bey, this is Turkish. We have Day, this is in the lower lands of South America. Hold on. We have Al, which is also lower portions of South America. Now, mind you, Bay and Day have the same meaning, just like El and Al, right? These are all principal or leading titles, like El Espiritu, Al Mashir, right? Anywho, Ali, Eli, these are the same. Pasha, Effendi, Maharaja. These are all titles of nobility. So the nobles are the Muslims. The Muslims are the true nobles. Name here, title plus title. This is not Moorish America. This is not a part of the Muslim order, nor can we find this type of designation or any combination of the titles together one after the other in any ancient scripts. I can go back, we ain't gonna go too far back. I could go to 1796. You see it? Yusuf Bashar Bey. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. And up here, Hassan Bashar Day. What is this that I'm looking at? Where you getting that from? So those who go around claiming El Bay or Al Day or Ali El or any combination of it, they are not in alignment with the national organization that was brought by Drew Ali. So they have a different framework. They have a different organization. And Drew Ali is showing us, because we see the Bay here. I've seen the L's in other places. I've seen the Ali's. Hell, Muhammad Ali. You see what I'm saying? Drew Ali was showing us how it's used in the ancient times. First name, last name, title. So again, anyone using these double titles do not know what the titles truly mean. I will say this much. I have noticed in my own observation that all of the individuals using these titles claim to be either Indian, original American, and even Native American. Okay? These individuals claim to be American Indian, usually. There'll be this, there'll be an original American or an indigenous American, right? Or there'll be a Native American. They will claim that heritage. Okay? Now, Native Americans, our brothers and sisters, the first time Native American was used as a social identification ever, mind you, ever, was in 1855. I challenge you to look this up. 1855, and I need you to look for the no, nothing part. Okay? This is what they were called. This is the political party that was established in 1855. The first time we hear this phrase, this term, Native American. Now, these individuals are immigrants. I'm not saying, now mind you, I'm not saying that the brothers and sisters who call themselves that today are this. I'm saying that this is the first time in its use. I'm telling you, what is the term? What is the definition? What is the nature, right? These are immigrants of European descendants, or immigrants of, European evangelical. Evangelical, and we'll say, I guess, priests or whatever, right? Now, again, I challenge you. I encourage you. I don't challenge you. I encourage you. If you got to use Google, it'll pop right up in Wikipedia. And it will tell you. It will tell you that the first time this was used, it did not mean this. And it did not mean what we know of today as okay. So the first time we hear the term Native American, it's being used by European or Eurasian, if you will, individuals. Let's see. Y'all see that? Indian. But hold on, because I know what I'm looking for. I just want to go a little bit deeper. Oh, there it is. Y'all see this guy? You see the shape of my fez, right? Y'all see that? See all the feathers? The feathers represent one, the rays of the sun. Well, that's funny because so does the tassel on the fez. It represents the rays of the sun. That's what it means. Okay. So, your Masons, your Masons are Negroes, Europeans, and Native Americans. So a Moorish American cannot be a Mason because it can never be whatever a Negro is. See, Moorish Americans have white identity or secured identity. So Freemasonry is Christian trust and estate administration. Okay? Your Freemasons who can be African American, they can be African, and they can be Eurasian. Okay? Let me see. Aladdin's looking. Okay, we got one of those people. Here we go. All right. And then these can also be Shriners. But remember now, the Shriners, they wear their fezzes marked and they have pins, right? Okay. So Freemasonry and Shrinerdom all deals with Christian belief. They believe in Jesus as a Christian. Moorish Muslims, you know what? Yeah, let me call it what it is. Moorish Science is Muhammadan. Okay? So we have the Africans, we have the Europeans, and we have the Asians here. Right? Now, the Moorish Science dealing with Mohammedanism, you can be North African, European, and Asian. We'll call that Middle Eastern. So you see, we have the same appearance. What's the difference? Everyone here everyone here is underneath someone. This is the black or the sinner or the debtor, the one who's in debt. Remember, in Christianity, they teach you that Jesus, well, we can't even say that Jesus taught it. But in Christianity, they teach you that you're born in sin, and sin is debt. And so to be a born sinner is to be a debtor until someone raises you up after you've paid in. Okay? You had to pay. Here, you're born. You're born white, redeemed, and creditor. This is your statelessness. This is your state. Now, again, in Islam, if you're from North Africa, Europe, or Asia, as a Muslim, you're already family. You're already family. And this is what Noble Drew Ali set out to expose, was that we are all one family. All of humanity is but one family. There are no highs or lows, riches or poors in Islam. That only happens somewhere else. When you reverse what Islam is, you get the reverse identity. So let me show you all. Let me highlight it. Look at the highlights. So to be an American Indian or Alaska Native, right? I just showed you. You have to deal with the evangelical Christian diaspora, which teaches everyone that they're born a debtor, so they're not born into the family. They're born as outcasts because they're debtors, right? An American Indian is a person having origins in any of the original peoples of North and South America, including Central America, and here's the key term, and who maintains tribal affiliation or community attachment. Tribal affiliation. Let's get this down. So we have Okay? Our brothers and sisters who are the American Indians and the Native Americans and those who claim that identity, they deal with tribal government. Okay? These are their trusted administrations. What is tribal government? This is a tribe. This is a tribe. This is a tribe. Tribal government says that we don't deal with the next individuals. We only deal with what we deal with. Okay? So that's like stepping outside of your home and not even recognizing your neighbors as neighbors. Okay? That's tribal government. And this government is regulated under the federal, not particularly the national. These are stateless entities, all right? So then we have there is no government for this here. They're not even tribal. There is no government here. These people claim to be weird. They claim to be having origins in any of the original peoples of North, South, and Central America who maintains tribal affiliation. So they're making a claim. They're laying a claim. But this does not have, where is this? If this is American Indian and this means people from America, then this means African people, it just means people from Africa. But there is no specificity in their nations, right? And then you have this is a tribe, this is a tribe, this is a tribe. But they all come together as one nation. This this is the structure of the people of the Longhouse, the Haudenosaunee, the Iroquois. Okay? A piece of what? Why are everyone tribal? That's not an answer that I can give you. I just know that this is how they operate. And again, this is according to the ethnicity and race form. This is not according to me. This is how you identify your race or your people. Okay? All right. Let's go into national government. In a national government or a national organization, means the same thing. You have the people. You have the people and you have the land, and these two are one. Okay, and so the people and the land make up the state. Okay, the state is the people securing their lands and saying that we are going to administrate on behalf of our own selves. We all share the same state of mind. Okay, every time I see a Moor trying to fight a ticket with Moorish laws, he loses. Yeah, I've seen it too. I see it too, and that's because they're. I mean, to be completely honest with you, they have misinformation. They don't. They're warring against their state. They're enemies of. They're acting as enemies of the state, and that's why they keep taking those losses because they're not listening to what was given to them. Right, what was given to them as far as instructions on being a citizen is to go back into the government, right, and to abide by the laws of the government, and that's just not what they're doing. No, no doubt, no doubt, and that's why I gave you that answer. You know, I'm not knocking you either. When someone asked me to go in the nation, so what makes up a nation, right? The same thing that makes up a state makes up a nation. Okay. Now the people are named after the land. So now let me show you. This is my national organization. And everybody who's in this state is identified as a Pennsylvanian. So they are named after their land, after their nation. They are the principal people because they and their state or their nation, their organized body, politic, are one. They're one and the same. Now, when you're dealing with tribalism, we'll say that you have the Cherokee over here. Can't even really use the so-called Cherokee or the Dene because the Dene at one point were actually operating under national principles. But we'll say I don't want to make any names or any assertions because I'm not trying to get my live feed cut off, and I'm not out here to try to disrespect or make anyone feel bad. So, scenario wise, we'll say that Lakota people. All right, you have them. This is the tribe. Now the land is not called Lakota. It's not called Oglala. It's not called Dene. It's not called Owashito. Right? These are names of tribal people. But the tribal people are like cities. It's not the whole state. Tribalism is looking at yourself from the level of a local citizen, which is the most lesser title of citizenship that you can have is on the state or is on the city local level. So these tribes are like again, they're little towns, they're little cities, they're little villages, they're villages, right? And they don't really particularly identify. They're not even that. They're people off in the sticks. We'll put it that way. You have people off grid. Tribalism are the people who live off grid. They don't deal with their neighbors. They're in survival mode. Get it how you live. It's just us versus everyone. All right. There is no whole mentality. All right. With your national or your state representation of governance, again, all of the people in Pennsylvania, whether they are Christian, atheist, Jew, Hindu, Muslim, Buddhist, Taoist, Shintoist, Baha'i, whatever they may express themselves to be politically or religiously, they are still politically one of the people. All right? So, North Africa. Can we name some countries from North Africa? We've got Tunis. We've got Tripoli. We've got Morocco. We've got Algiers. These are most commonly known to Moorish Americans, but we have more. Absolutely, Morocco. We have Tangiers. We have Libya. We have, what is that, the West Sahara? I don't even know if that's considered. We've got Mauritania. We've got Egypt. We've got the Sudan. These are all North African. All of these would be Moorish. All of them. Or if we're not going to call them Moorish, if Moorish only pertains to Moroccans, then we are all Muslim. Because the Muslim deals with the whole family worldwide. A Muslim in America is a brother or a sister to a Muslim anywhere else in the world. I walk into a mosque, a masjid, assalamu alaikum. Wa alaikum assalam, akhi, kayf halak? You know what I'm saying? Just boom. All right, because Islam is a worldwide, universal, white brotherhood. White means pure. Okay? So we have North Africans, then we have Europe. Now, can we name some Muslim European places? Istanbul today. Uh, what is it? It's right in my head too. Shit. Can't think of them. I know they are there. There are Istanbul. Anybody else got any European? No help. How long did it take you to learn Arabic? So I did a 7-year prison sentence from the age of 17 to the age of 25. And it took me about 3 or 4 years once I came to Islam, and started learning about it. I didn't want to just go around speaking phonetics. That's never been my style. And so I immersed myself in the culture, and I was actually taught Arabic from a Jordanian Christian. Right? And I helped him with his English. He helped me with my Arabic. And then I also learned Spanish the same way. And I was teaching someone who spoke Spanish, English, and they were helping me with my Spanish. And then once I came home and I continued my studies, I found out that Arabic and Spanish They're interlocked. Particularly Moroccan Arabic. Particularly Moroccan Arabic and Spanish are hand in hand. Crazy story. Indeed. Indeed. Just divine preparation. Well, let's do it this way. We'll do Eurasia. So now we've got Pakistan, uh, Arabia. We want to go up some more. Damn. I can't. Hold on. I believe. I'm gonna have to go check it. Armenia. I might be wrong about that. Um. Mm, what was it? Who were the Europeans during the German movement who were accepting Muslim Jews in as Muslims? Was that might have been? And again, please forgive me. It might have been Bolivia. I'm gonna have to go back. But the point that I'm making, is that you have North Africa, Europe, and Asia. You have Muslim identities, and all over here, North America, in North Africa, in Europe, and in Asia, you have the Muslim Ummah. The Ummah means the family, the entire family, not just the family inside the house. Your brothers, your cousins, your aunties, your uncles, your grandparents, all the way down the line. Everyone is family, right? So everyone here has this commercial status. Okay? History lesson. And I know those who are Moorish conscious will be able to answer this. Anybody know? From 711 AD to 1481 AD, what took place? The Roman Christian crusades against the Muslims, the Jews, and the Helio-Gnostics. The Helio-Gnostics are those who took the teachings of Jesus, and the Helio-Gnostics would be more along the lines of, dare I say, Mormons. They don't believe that Jesus, at least I don't believe that they believe, that Jesus was any more than a prophet, right? But anywho, so from 711 AD to 1491 AD, the Christian crusade led a revolution, led a revolt against the Muslims, the Jews, and the Helio-Gnostics. Now, at that time, everyone was under Muslim rule. And if you do your real history, you'll see that even though we hear that Islam was spread by the sword. We also know that everywhere Islam touched, it enriched wherever it was. And anywhere that Islam left, that place, those areas went into decay. They went into decline. This is what we know. So 1491. So in 1492, no, 1491, the Romans topple Moorish stronghold. Okay. Now, mind you, in 1453, the Muslims took back their land from Constantine. Okay? Just take note of that. In 1453, these Muslims took Constantinople, and later on it became Istanbul. Yes, this is all before Columbus. Right. Right. The reason why I'm making this point is because when you look at the white status, if we're talking about antiquity, then everything in the white status is Muslim. North African, European, Middle Eastern. Right? So then 1492 comes because the Moors lost their last stronghold. Where did they lose it? They lost their last stronghold in Europe. The Moors were in Europe. You've got the Punic Wars, the Phoenician Wars, which are all kind of the same. But you had all of the what is it? Oh man, can't remember them all at this moment. But there were a succession of wars that led generations. And mind you, the Muslim in one land is the brother of a Muslim in any land, and so anywhere a Muslim is Muslim land. All right. So there were all of these wars, and then the Christians, they toppled the Moors in 1491, and then in 1492 they start moving all of these Moors, Jews, and Helionostics out of Europe back into Africa, right? Okay. Remember that Catholic. Damn, man, I want to spell the word right. Roman Catholicism. Catholicism. Yeah, all right, there you go. This is Freemasonry, right? Knights Templar, Ku Klux Klan, Knights of Malta, Skull and Bones. So Freemasonry, or the Roman Catholicism Trust and Administrative, Freemasonry is just the national organization. It's the fraternal order. And mind you, everyone can't be born a Christian. You have to be born a sinner. And a Christian is, they say a Christian is a sinner and a saint, but you're a born sinner. You're a born debtor. And only the Pope, or only the authority, the most worshipful master, can raise you up to a creditor. Now, there it is. for all of the Moorish Americans who claim to be Shriners, Freemasons, or any of those other orders, they have the national principles because these are universal principles. It's a universal philosophy. But these Moors who are claiming to be Freemasons and Shriners, right, in any capacity, they're under Christianity. They're under the Christian interpretation. And they cannot be Muslims if they're under the Christian interpretation. And to be a Freemason, you have to be made into a Freemason. A Muslim is not a Freemason. Because a Freemason is in the dark and must come to the light. But a Muslim is born in the light, knowing that there is darkness behind him. Knowing that it's there, but he was born out of it. He wasn't born into the dark. He was born from it, outside and came into the light. All right. So, what do we hear about Muslims and their order, right? The very first chapter of the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America tells you everything you need to know, right? It says, time never was when man was not. If life of man at any time began, a time would come when it would end. The thoughts of Allah cannot be circumscribed. No finite mind can comprehend things infinite. Now, mind you, you were learning yourself, so you're going to be able to comprehend things infinite. He's telling you that certain things are not born infinite. And he's trying to get you to find yourself in it. All right? He says all finite things are subject to change. All finite things will cease to be because there was a time when they were not. The bodies and the souls of men are finite things. So the body and the soul, this is not man. At least this is not the man that we're speaking about. There's really a story of two men in here, or two creations, if you will. It says, the bodies and the souls of men are finite things, and they will change. Yes, from the finite point of view, the time will come when they will be no more. But man himself is not the body, nor the soul. He is a spirit and a part of Allah. Okay? I'm going to jump through this because I want to make my points. I desire to make my points. So, the first point that I'm going to make is that spirit man is the law manifest. Okay? And the law is all law. Okay? Now, in Freemasonry, they call themselves widows, sons of widows, sons of a widow. Okay? And when the Masons come into Shrinerdom, see, the Masons, that's the sun, S-U-N. And then the Shriner is supposed to be the moon and star. But when they come into Shrinerdom, right, they deal with the crescent moon and star. They say Ma and son. Okay? That's where we get Mason from. Now, just to clarify, Freemason or Mason means child of the light. And the light, mother is not the light. Mother is the darkness. Just a thought. Okay. Now, with Moorish Science, we learn. Now, seed, let me check and make sure. Yep. Okay, so we learn that man is a thought of a law, and all thoughts of a law are infinite. They are not measured up by time for things that are concerned with time, begin and end. The thoughts of a law are the everlasting of the past unto the never-ending days to come. And so is man, the spirit man. Cool. So, spirit man, as seed of all law, held deep within himself the attributes of every part of God. Right? So then it speaks to Freemasonry. It says, now seed are perfect, yes, as perfect as the source from which they come. The seed does not come from the mother. Okay? It says, the child is as perfect as the mother is. Okay? So the child is the seed manifest in the mother's womb. So the seed, the child is the body or the physical aspect, which is not the real reality. It's just your avatar. It's just your estate. That's all it really is. It's not you. It's your estate. Okay? Now listen. It says, so man, the seed, must be planted in a soil that he might grow, unfold, as does the bud unfold to show the flower. The first statement, the human seed, the seed that came forth from the heart of all law, was full ordained to be the Lord of the plane of soul and of the plane of things made manifest. So I'm already born a ruler. The seed in me. Because whatever's in the seed is what I'm the seed of the Father. The seed is in a special seed. And so whatever that seed opens out into is going to be the same as the Father, right? Now listen here. This is for my Mason brothers and sisters that shoot my son, right? So Allah, the husbandman of everything that is. So Allah, the husbandman that through that, excuse me, the husbandman of everything that is, threw forth this human seed into the soil and soul. So here we have mother and son. And it's a widow. So where is the father? This is the secret that the Masons hold. It's that when you look at this, or the Shriners, there it goes. All right. Let me use a different pen, a different marker. We'll use the blue. Now remember, the child is as perfect as the mother is. So the child is going to be the same complexion as the mother, right? Let me make this a little bigger. So now understand that when we're looking here, and to be completely honest, I know I keep just redoing. But let's make this a little smaller so that we can understand what we're looking at. Okay. So now the moon and the star are the same complexion. All right. So that means that there has to be something right here that's in between the moon and the star. Because if there's nothing here and all you're looking at is this, you would never be able to see the star. Because it's the same thing. It's the same. So what is this whiteness and the darkness? This is the husbandman. This is Allah. The light. This is the light as well as the darkness. So you're supposed to bring Boaz and Joachim together at the peak. So the Muslims deal with the sun, the moon, and the stars. The Masons just deal with the moon and the star. Remember, Allah is the husbandman, so he has to be there. It has to be there. You Moorish Masons out there don't believe in Allah. Allah is the husbandman. So as Muslims, we're not widows of any. Our mother, our creator, is complete. Because the Father laid seed into the soil of mother and created. That is a perfect union. This is a Trinity. This is not a Trinity. Swindle, hoodwinked. Shared your video. That's the weirdo who wants to. He wants so bad for Moorish Americans to not be. All right. Allah the Father represents your state government. Remember, the people in the state are one. So what the Masons are saying is that they're not a part of the state. They're not a part of the state. Because there's no husbandman. It's just my son. They're children of the light, but mother's not the light. Mother's the darkness. Mother is the soil that the Father plants his seed into. The darkness. Mother is the darkness. We're children of the light. My spirit. I am in one spirit. One verse. I am universal. I'm uniform with the state. That is Allah. So again, for you Freemasons out there, particularly my Moorish brothers and sisters who proclaim such a thing, it's no wonder to me. I can see why so many of these Moorish Americans who profess to be Muslims but act as Masons, I can recognize why they run from the state. Because they run from the state. They tell you to operate in private only, but you're supposed to operate in both. Big water. In conclusion, true Moorish Americans are not Masons. We're not Masons. We have the same principles, but we administrate under the Father. And Masons are widows They're widows. They're sons of widows. So they're not children of the light because they're sons of widows. Because the light is the Father and the darkness is the flesh. To be a Mason, like they tell you, right? They tell you, I'm aware of this, that this means arm. Yeah. They tell you that this means arm, leg, arm, head. They're telling you that the star, the physical manifestation, which is the mother, they're telling you that this is Allah, but they don't bring the Father. Where is the Father? Right? This is also Allah. This is the state. This is the federal. State regulations, federal regulations. Now the Masons are only coming under here. They've completely cut the Father off. Completely. It's no longer Allahumma. It's just Allah. Allahumma means together. Now Jurali is telling you to know of the higher and the lower. This is how you perfect your father and your mother. Excuse me. Your father and your mother come together, and what does that make? That makes the diamond. Right? Because you've got this right here. You got this. So now you have your diamond or your square. Depending on the angle, you take it. This is a right angle, right angle, right angle, right angle. For all the Moorish Americans out there that want to be American Indians, that want to be Aboriginals, that want to be, what do they call it, Aboriginal Native Americans and all of that, that's not what your prophet brought you. That's not what your brother brought you. Your brother brought you the family business, okay? And he didn't bring you Freemasonry. He said he's taking the covers off of all secret organizations. Freemasonry is a secret organization. Isn't it? Well, then we're not Masons. Now, the structure of fraternal order is what the Masons, the Shriners, the Muslims, and every other national organization share. The principles we all share, but we don't operate the same. We don't. The Masons act like, no, you can't be, if you're not one of the Masons, you're clandestine. If no one brought you into the family. So basically, if you're not adopted in, you're an outsider. In Islam, you're born in. Once you recognize that you're Muslim and you accept that creed, you become Muslim. You become one of the Ummah instantaneously. It doesn't need any paperwork, doesn't need any registry outside of your mind. You are Muslim once you recognize that Muslim means creditor and that all are born on the square. All are born on the level. Okay. In closing, and they'll tell you, Masons are made men. Masons are made men. They have to be made. Yeah, tripping. And Muslims are born men. Muslims are not made, they are born. Masons are not born, they are made. What did Noble Drew Ali tell his Moors? Muslims are born, not made. What did he call us? Did he call us Masons on the nationality card? No. He called us Muslims. Do Freemasons deal in Islam? Not until they become a part of the ancient Arabic order of the Nobles of the Mystic Shrine, or their Negro counterpart, ancient Egyptian Arabic order of the Nobles of the Mystic Shrine. They have to be brought in. But as a Muslim, it doesn't matter what you look like or where you're from. Come on in. Brother, mind you, they all use brother, sister, noble, honorable. They all use these same titles, yo. Justice, chief justice. They all use these same titles in government because the fraternal order. There we go. Here's your fraternal order trust. Here's your fraternal order of operation. Right here. This is what they use. Okay? The basic of every administrative government or governing body politic is accounting. So the Freemasons, they have their accounting. The Masons have you coming off of the asset side of the ledger. On the asset side of the ledger, you have debtors. Religiously, a debtor is a sinner. Okay? Now, government-wise, stateless. Because the state is the father and it's not like the father. It's like the mother. It's not like the father. Here's your father over here. Right? This is your mother and this is your father. All right? And so over here you have the creditors. Yeah. The right side of God or the right hand of God. When you have your lower and your higher working together as one account, you're born this way. This is what it means to be a Muslim. That's all we're saying. That's all that's being spoken about. We're not talking none of that boogie woogie mystified shit. This is the basics of accounting. Christianity, Freemasonry, you're born a sinner. You have to get over here, right? What does the Mason say? The Mason says that I'm in the West and that I'm traveling east. So they have to get there. eastward. I'm traveling east. Yeah, you're coming to the right side of the ledger. Dragged over them hot sands to get here. The Muslim says, I was already born over here. I was already born. I was not born in ignorance. I wasn't born in, I was born out of. I came out of it. I'm on this side. So these are your Masons and your Shriners and your Orthodox religious interpretations. These are your mystic uh, internally regulated identities. You're the creditor, you're righteous, you're not a sinner. So you're righteous, again, on the right side, and you're not stateless, you're with the state, you're in one state. But all of this is you. So where's your Trinity? One side of the coin, another side of the coin, the actual whole coin. This is also yin and yang. Because yin and yang is a trinity. Did you know that? Yin and yang is a trinity. And remember, when you hear about threes are dealing with trust law. So we've got two fish, but they're connected in the middle. So you have one side, one coin. Two sides of the same coin. It's Trinity. Trinity deals, look, Trinity, triune, tribunal, three. We trust in Allah. We trust in the state. We trust in the Father. If thy left hand offends, you cut it off. Absolutely. Most welcome, Sister Goddess, for this information. So, Drew Ali was teaching us the 7 Hermetic principles. In this one here, we're looking at correspondence, and we're also looking at gender, and we're also looking at, what is it? Polarity. We're looking at polarity, contrast, debits and credits, public and private, darkness and light, sun and moon. That's all we're looking at. Means you in your right mind if you left-handed. All right, but Drew Ali brought us back the title to our vast estate and told us to trust in the state and to give the state, to invest in the state so that you can get your return on investment. So I, as well as Noble Drew Ali, are not Masons. Though we practice the form or the substance that is within Freemasonry, we are not called Freemasons. Drew Ali told us that the Freemasons would be the last to come in to the temple, but he also explained to us to have our meetings on the second floor, like the Masons. So he was showing us the contrast. That yes, we have the same information that is running the Freemasons and all the other organizations, we have it. That's what Jurali gave us. He took the secret away. He revealed. He audited everyone, right? He audited the trust in the estates. And this is what he's showing us how to do. As always, I am your brother Brandon Davis Ali, the noble, the prince, the principal, your brother. Just come to show you the way to your principal equity. Not even just that. I'm here to show you the way to natural and principal equity, because there is one. And equity is Islam. I appreciate you, brother. Do you mind showing? Absolutely. This book here, this book teaches you the basics of accounting. If you can understand, if you can get through this and understand the basics of accounting, you'll be able to administrate any governing, any business. Estate and Trust Administration for Dummies. I haven't even cracked this book open yet. I understand what this means right here. The secure transaction is the Muslim and the practitioner, right? We practice and we proclaim as Moorish Americans. Okay. All right, y'all. Y'all take care. Till next time.